Right. I click go live. Can you check if we're live, legends? We are here. We are back. We are ready. This is a new show. This is where we do freaking Bitcoin predictions for days. No BS. No crypto influencer B fucking bullshit. This is alpha. We are going to show you what's going to happen on these Z charts. And we're going to get straight into it. So, guys, we've got obviously my team here. We've got Smallio. We got Crypto Viking. These are the legends who are in our VIP traders group and everything, and they're professional traders. So, how you guys doing? You all ready for this?
What's popping, G?
Popping up. Ready. Let's go. Hopefully we're live, so post it around, and I'm going to dive straight into my charts straight away. Okay, so start with my charts. Right, so legends. The itty bitty bad boy Bitcoin, and just to mention as well, guys, it's like daylight savings. We've all had no sleep. We've been trading, so we might be a little bit worse for weather, but we will try our best to be sharp, concise, and tell you what we think is going to happen. My phone's blasting off since I went live. So, guys, yeah, I don't even know when we did our last video. I think the last video we did, it was around here. The price action was in the mid-range between around 25 and 32. And I was saying that, if you put a gun to my head and you said, what do you think is more probable to happen first? I said that I think we'll get $32,000 first. And we got that move, and guys, and now we just liquidated a whole load of those short positions. All these areas here, all the liquidations are being wiped out. Anyway, this is going back a little bit too far. I want to go into what we're going to happen next. So, I said in my Twitter, guys, that SPX, there is going to be an interesting trade here. We have support. We're at the open. And also, guys, we have potential bullish divergence going to play out on the oscillators. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. So I said, guys, yeah, this could be interesting because this is another trade you can take. But if we do see strength in the SPX, it will likely mean Bitcoin probably has a move to the upside. And that's actually what we're getting right now, guys. On the open, we are actually getting a move to the upside on SPX. You can see here, we've actually bounced off support. So everything in this trade is going pretty well. We're at support. We're going to get bullish divergence. And I said that is a likely a good place to look for a buy. And we're actually getting a move on the SPX right now. So bringing that over, guys, to Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin's been wishy-washy up here all the way until we had this big aggressive move to the upside, guys. Bitcoin has literally just been going completely sideways. So the SPX is going to help this range, okay? Because if the SPX does want to continue, I do think that actually does bode well for Bitcoin. A lot of people talking about this whole decoupling and all these kind of things. I just don't think that is what's happening. I don't think Bitcoin's decoupling the stock market. I think that actually what's happening is there's just some sort of cyclical move, with the ETF news and all these kind of macro factors. It just means that something's kind of moving a little bit off and then it will come back to the mean. And obviously SPX right now is beginning to move up, which will put some good pressure on Bitcoin. So, guys, the indicators as well, I just want to quickly show you. Everything's drawn on for you. These are all of the support and resistance zones. You just click one button. Also on here, guys, we do have the other indicators as well. Again, guys, look, everything is just literally plotted on for you. So if you want to get these indicators, guys, go to mdxalgo.com. It literally trades for you. We call ourselves good traders, but the freaking algorithms do it now for us. We don't even need to be at a chart, essentially, these days. So, guys, quite obvious. We have resistance up here. We have support below us. And what that's doing is it's carving out a short-term range. We're in between here and here, and then we have the lower side here. And actually, if you zoom out a little bit more, you can see that kind of coincides quite nicely, guys, with this whole range-bound environment up here. Now, real simple, guys. If we do get a daily closure, I'd say, or maybe even a 4-hour close above resistance above us, we come up here, guys, and we hold above here. I do think actually we're going to move up quite quickly for Bitcoin. I do actually think we're going to probably maybe get something at around maybe 35.6, but I think the more logical place we're looking for is $40,000, guys, between 40,000 and 41,000. You can actually zoom out on the daily and see this a bit clearer. Whip this out for you. We're looking at around the fib level retracement here of between $40,000 and $42,000. You can see this blue ray coming across. And then even potentially, guys, I think 48K could be on the cards here for this move. This would be the top. I don't think this will be the ceiling for Bitcoin. I think it's very unlikely that Bitcoin is just going to blast all the way to the all-time high in one go. If we went to 48, we could come down. But let me just backtrack a second. Between 48,000 and 30K is probably quite likely actually where Bitcoin could end up trading for the best part of the next 6 months towards the halving. Yes, obviously, if we get a deviation of 30K and come back into the range, that's fine. But I just think that's more unlikely right now. I just think that the probability of Bitcoin retracing all the way down and making a lower low now, it just seems to me like it's less likely. We've broken out of this significant support region. The buyers are in control. We're moving up. The volume's looking good. We had really nice hidden bullish divergence. I'll go into hidden bullish divergence in a second. But I think it's quite likely, guys, between 48 and 30K is where we spend most of our time, actually. I don't think we get above the all-time highs. I've already said looking at, make sure I've got this chart up for you nice and quickly this time. Look at that. So, guys, institutions, 9.2% of the market is owned by institutions right now. So, yeah, give or take 10%. This is actually a month late. So we'll see if this gets to 10%. I said at the start of the year, if this goes to 14%, I do think Bitcoin could potentially retrace all the way back up to the all-time high. We're not there yet. So I think, looking at 10%, that could correlate with $48,000. Looking at the other factors as well, we were going to speak about was the dealers. Actually, I'll let Chris, I'll let you take over the commitment of traders because you have a really nice chart for the CME. So I'll let you take over that part. But let me just whip through my analysis and tell you exactly what I think. Because we're going to make this like it's going to be like the NFL. It's going to be like the soccer, if you call it in America. It's going to be like the football. It's going to be like commentating on football. We're just going to get it through, do predictions, none of this bullshit. Just tell you guys what we think and basically show you guys the analysis we use to get to the conclusions we come to. So let me go to a lower time frame, guys. So I'm going to do the I actually do think, guys, that the probability of breaking to the upside with SPX looking like this is probably higher. Yes, it could turn over and roll over and come back down. So if SPX does break this support region, then yes, the probability for the bears on Bitcoin does increase. I do think SPX actually has a pretty big say of what's going to happen here. There are a lot of guys saying, calling for this kind of flush back down, which would be a Bart Simpson pattern. From what I'm looking at here, yes, this is on a very short term an aggressive move back into the mid zone, but it's not too much cause for concern here. These wicks are really what you want to look for to break. If we did come down here and then back into the mid range and found that as resistance, then I would probably change my bias on the short term and say, yes, maybe we can get through it. But what we're actually really doing here is we're still knocking the door. If you invert the chart, still, it could change, but I'm saying we're still knocking the door for continuation on this. And obviously, if you looked at that from that angle, it looks like draw a trend line. I'm getting this really messy now. Yellow lines crack-a-lacking all over the gaff. Let me get rid of a few of these for you, legends. But you can see it's still, maintaining roughly. Obviously, the market on the lower time frames is not going to be perfect, but you can see that it's maintaining this momentum, or you could say these lower highs coming in just about. We have a wick coming above it. If we did come in here now and then find this, and yeah, we're coming to see the other side of it. Let me just invert that so I don't break my mind. Yeah, so you can see very, very logical, guys, between here and here is the area which needs to be broken for the bulls. We have these two wicks here as well. I'd say probably around here and here. Range bound environment. You have the indicators as well, which will quite nicely on a lower time frame as well, just show you and articulate across where those support and resistance zones are. And, like I said from the very beginning, guys, SPX, if it does want to continue the rally up higher, I think that this could actually end up resulting in higher prices. And I think you have to be in that court right now. Yeah, like I said, down here, guys, the support and resistance zones. Let me go back again, actually, make it nice and simple for you. But yeah, you've got to be in the court of the bulls for now. We haven't broken any structure. We've just broken out $30,000. It is pretty fucking nice to see, actually, considering everybody was calling for lower prices. All the bears are trying to force their kind of like bearish narrative on the market, and we just blasted through everybody. All those shorts and liquidations have been hit. I think it was over $1 billion of licks, which came from that. I'm going to go to some altcoins in a minute, but I'm just looking at all of my tabs. I might just tag someone else in because I've been doing my analysis for a while. I'm looking at my charts. Now, I think to wrap it up for me in terms of my prediction, and obviously long-term, guys, I'll just make it very clear. I think Bitcoin's going to quite likely be at much higher prices within years to come. So long-term out the way, I think Bitcoin's going up. On the medium term, there's a few trades to be made here. It really is no man's land. There's all these people coming out on Twitter, all these fucking influencers, and saying like, now's the time to get short, or now the time is to get long. If you're on a significantly lower time frame, you might be able to scalp some entries here. But on a higher time frame and on medium term play, this is not really where you want to get into a trade on any level. What you're really looking to do is actually buy support, a retest. So if we do come back down, guys, to around $32,000, that's where you'd look to say, okay, look, if we get a deviation, we hold 32, and we find it support, that could be another trade to the upside. I would take that trade. I will buy 32K again, between $32,000 and $30,000. I will buy again for a trade. You got all these fucking influencers saying now is the time to short. There is just no logical place to have a stop loss or an SR. There's no logical trade here. The risk to reward isn't there. You've just broken a long-term resistance zone. Where's your stop loss? What's your lot size? What are you doing? So all these guys who are telling you to short now, it's a load of fucking bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. There is no logical trade. Where's the risk? Or what's the risk to reward on this? And it's not worth it. So I would say that what you're really looking for, guys, if you're already in your long positions, you let those run. And if you're looking for shorts, guys, you're looking for the next move. And I would say that the next real place to look for shorts is between 40,000 and 42,000. And if you zoom out on higher time frames, like I've already stated a few times on this, you can see that area of 42K, let me zoom out for you, leggies. That area between 40,000 and 42, it's actually 40 and 42. Yeah, it's actually bang on. There is a nice area here, a pocket of resistance. You've got the Fibonacci retracement as well, the 0.5 coming in. That would be where you would actually look to get into a short, even 48K as well. This is fucking no man's land. There's nothing here. Yes, we're at a fib, but it's just broken $30,000. We haven't. If you retest 32, you buy. If you come to 42, you sell, and that's the only thing you can do. You don't play the impulse trade. So a lot of these guys are going to get wrecked. I've got some other stuff I'm going to go through on my tabs, but I'm going to tap someone else in. I'm going to tap in my guy. I'm going to get the boy, the legend. He's been trading for probably about the same time as me, maybe even longer. And I'm going to tag you in, Smallio, because you've been absolutely destroying it in the VIP group, because obviously you're trading in there every single day. I know you're tired right now because all you do is trade. You need to get some fucking sleep, mate. But,
I do.
I'll tag you in, man. I'll get your charts up for you. Tell us what you think, man. That's what I'm going through there. Obviously, that's kind of like trying to, in my mind, make sure it's all nice and concise. But overall, that's my predictions and what I think. What do you think is going to happen, brother? And what the scenarios out there?
Yeah, man. Well, what's good, people? Essentially, very much like what you've just said. So, a lot of people aren't talking about the bigger range we have here. And I think, again, we've broken out of not only the 13th of July high, which has been holding us down for a few months, but also the 0.5 of the range. Now, we haven't really back tested that yet, which is going to be huge if we do get this little snap back to it. But kind of like what you just said here, if you invert this chart, the people calling for shorting, it just it does make you scratch your head, doesn't it? Of all places to short, right here doesn't seem like the right one. Clearly on the inverted here, it looks like, if you were seeing this as a nuke, I would say we're easily coming back to pretty much what you said. I got a little level here around the 0.25 of the range, sort of 39K-ish, but, similar to what you said, also up to 47, 48. So that's kind of what I've got in the sort of higher time frames. But
also, mate, just don't want to cut you off, but just to mention as well, even if the market does retrace right now and you're in a short, it still doesn't mean it was the correct trade to make. So I just want to make that point right now: is there's no short here in any book. Even if it is a successful trade, you just got lucky. Simple.
100%. And you could, on the lower time frames, you could look to short something like this, but just like, is it really worth it when the trend is, just up at the moment? For me, I'd rather just buy and, if I'm wrong, get stopped out and just re-enter at one of these levels below. It just makes more sense, doesn't it? We know this. You and I have been in our early days been completely wrecked trying to short these big moves. And one of the things I've always noticed is, when we really do expand, they just really like to keep people on the sidelines. You know what I mean? It's more painful to just keep going up and not give people these entries than it is, the other way around. And I think, a lot of people realize that the hard way. But
it's noobs, man. Everyone makes the same mistake at the beginning. Like, you just try and short into the pumps consistently, trying to catch knives on the way up. It's no fucking way. You learn those mistakes in the first year of trading. Don't do them again.
Yeah, you learn trend is friend the hard way generally, but yeah. So lower time frames here, we're long for around this area because we reclaimed what we lost here on the lower time frames. But right now I'm kind of expecting that to potentially get stopped out and come down here and sweep this. If it doesn't, it'll hold a higher low here, and I think that's still good for continuation. So
what's your buy zones beneath us? Because I'm looking at probably between 32 and 31 for a bounce trade. So are you looking at those same areas?
I like that too. So, here, really the key here is I like your little sweep level. So they could come down maybe even a bit lower and sort of sweep this level here. So come down to sort of 30 and then come back and regain it. And again, similar to you, I'd look to rebuy that on a reclaim of the level / deviation if you want to invert it. But, right now, if we lose this significantly and we start closing below it, and then especially if we retest it bearishly, I think the move is all but over. Yeah. And then I think we're going to come back crashing down to 20 pretty heavily. Just looking at the whole range and everything, this is such a key zone to reclaim, and getting above it is huge for us. So
if they do lose it, it's like one of those things. It's like if we push our head above the parapet and get shot down, it's like now that is a significant rejection, or your head's been blown off. So I think 20K comes, but I just think it's less likely at this point.
Yeah, it's a 50 cal round to the noggin. So
absolutely blasted. Barrett 50 cal, bro. Explosive round. See you later.
100%. But, you know, similar to what you said, we all talk so much about trading together. So we have similar ideas. But, you know, you and I, Max, have had this idea for a while, coming off the high around 30%. Everything lines up to this sort of 48K area, which, you know, even Chris and I, we've been talking about this in the TM streams for the last year, that it's just the correct level to retest. It'd be interesting to see a little poke above this. If we do get up here and go real parabolic, I think a little poke above that and sweeping these stops could happen too. Not that there'll be that much left up there. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at. As far as the opens as well, we still have a bullish open structure, guys. You know, we're above all of these opens. And like I always say, when you gain them consecutively, it's generally a bad idea to be short. And on these lower time frames, sorry?
Yeah, go. Sorry to cut you off. What about going lower time frames? I know you like to scalp as well. So what do you think on like 5-minute time frames on this last move we've just had in the last, like, say, a few hours? We've moved down and we've just lost the prior low. What do you think about that?
Yeah, this doesn't look amazing, but it just means, you know, my stops here, my entries around here. I haven't been trading for a few days, so I've been traveling. So essentially, I'm just trying to buy, you know, at a decent spot. If I get stopped out, that's fine. But, you know, I'm hoping that they just hold somewhere around here, come back down and hold this. Again, this is the swing, the important swing here, which is basically the last level that we can hold before we start taking out this wick. So I'd imagine we get a bounce somewhere in here, and whether that comes up here and fails and then we nuke back down, that's one way. Or if we just go
support, slightly
higher, or if we just go kaput and sweep this, and then obviously you could invert this and have a sort of reclaim play. So, you know, if we dump down here and then come back and reclaim that, I'd probably buy that as well. So, you know, there's a lot of things to do. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things to do. Essentially, as long as we're holding this swing here, we're kind of good. And until we lose that, I'm not really looking for shorts. And even if we do, like, where are you going to short to? Like here? Is that really like what you're looking for here when it's a potentially massive uptrend?
So you're saying that you're in a trade now, you're in a longs from lower time frame stuff, you're looking to buy between 31 and 32, you're not looking for shorts, and you go with the trend here and you just basically long until proven otherwise, essentially.
Yeah, I'm looking to buy any support down to 31, essentially, any of these levels all the way down. And if it nukes, then I'll look for some shorts on the retest of this level.
Yeah, exactly. That's the short play. The short play is the break of 32 back into it, and then the retest of that.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much,
really
man. But I think that's pretty much me. I'm in Georgia, so late time zone. I'm going to peace out now, guys. But appreciate the time, and I hope you guys have a great stream. We will see you
love it, brother.
Week.
You love it. You're trading too much. Get some rest. I want to mention something right now, guys, as well on this side. So yeah, see you later, Will, and I'll bring you in as well, Chris. So guys, want to mention something about that, about our first trade on the old trading bot. So I literally just launched the MDX Algo trading bot, the new one on Bingx. So it's on Bingx. The link's below, guys. Check it out. You need to use that link to get access to it. So we've already had a few trades, guys. First trade means that everyone who's following this is already up $226. That's the first trade it's already made. And we actually flipped this back to 1x now, so it was doing higher leverage. But guys, come to Bingx. Use the link description to Bingx to follow our new trading bot. I've been using this for more than 5 years, and I am asking for 0 profit. I'm not taking any money from you legends for you to use this bot. This is purely for you to use so you don't get fucking scammed by all these crypto goddamn wankers, okay? Crypto influencer wankers. This is for you to use, guys. This will make you money on a medium to long-term time frame, okay? So don't get wrecked. I'm solely doing this for you to use Bingx for 0% profit. I'm not taking any of your fucking money. And then check it out, guys, on that. So that's the trading bot. Also, the indicators, guys. Just want to quickly mention before I bring you in, Chris the Viking. They're all literally, this is just plotted all on for you guys. I can't even describe to you how simple this is now. It's literally everything done for you in terms of you click one button and you can see everything on the screen. And Chris, you have a really nice chart open, actually. I want to show you guys this. The last buy signal we got, this is on the daily time frame, I think, isn't it, Chris?
4 hour.
Daily, 4 hour. The last 4 hour, you could have blindly taken these last 2 trades and been up probably 30% from this move. So, guys, obviously I'm shilling my own product, mdxalgo.com, but simply put, you have a significantly higher chance of becoming a multi-millionaire being in our group, using our products, using our indicators. I can't say it enough because, it's getting to the point now where I need to say this because all these other fucking crypto influencers are going to get you wrecked. They are going to make you lose money. And I feel like it's an obligation to at least try and give you something which can actually help you make money. And that's mdxalgo.com. Fucking 15 coaches, live sessions, all of my trades in there, all of the indicators, all the software.
Every day,
every single day. Yeah, and we love it, Legends. But yeah, Chris, tell me what you think, man. Good to see you here again, Crypto Viking. What do you think about the markets? Yeah, how's it going, man? All good?
A little bit under the weather, but you do a lot with caffeine.
Yeah, it can. It literally is. It's like caffeine. I would say other things as well, but I'll just stick to caffeine for the PC viewers. But yeah, man, blast off. What do you think about the markets? Long-term, medium-term, short-term analysis. What are you thinking?
Absolutely. So kind of to start it off, I remember like 2 weeks ago, we had the last session. Gun to my head from this liquidity grab that went back lower. I was like, yeah, we'll probably go back to 25K. The moment we did this, the moment we did the April Q2, the 28.5 gain, there was not a single short sell in my brain. There's only up and up only. A lot of things. I'll go through a couple things with funding rates and some things like that, which really
and show us the CME stuff as well. Your CME charts are really nice when you post them in the group. So bring those up as well. Have a chat about that. That'd be nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll do that one first since it's Monday and the data comes out on Friday. It shows the previous Tuesday to the previous Tuesday. So it is back data. It's data from 10 days ago, from the 17th through the 20th. What is that? The 17th through the 24th. Yeah. So in any case, the important thing to see here with the CME data that still has me a little bit like scratching my head. The dealers, intermediaries, even in this major upside move to 25K, are still adding shorts. The leveraged funds are still adding shorts. And the asset managers and institutionals, which historically have been wrong in the entire bear market for the last 2 years, they are entirely long. There is, they're 99% long.
Yeah, so, huddles.
Yeah.
Huddling for dear life.
Huddling for dear life. So my thing is, and I really agree with you guys' analysis about the local loss of level. The big thing to remember, I think, in the overall structure is that we are going up and we are gaining levels and we're making higher lows and higher highs. The trend is your friend. We are going up until proven otherwise. Now, there's some lower time frame gaps. There's one down here at about 34K, 34.1. If we go down and hold the lows, we're still looking for that continuation. And if we start breaking structure to the downside, then I'll start flipping my bias. But for us to do that, I want to see some distribution. I want to see some new lows created, some failures to achieve previous highs, an overall kind of trend reversal, even on low time frames. And there's not really any evidence of that. Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. We've got to at least lose the wick, the lower wicks, and then we can start talking about that.
So let me just go on another one real quick because I have a nice little, is that my idea chart? So a little bit lower time frame, going down to the 1 hour. I don't like to scalp, but this is what I'm looking at for like some local support stuff. This really lines up with a lot of the different daily and structural opens that we're really looking at in the area. I don't see us breaking down until we have closes underneath the local support at around 33.5. If we start closing below previous lows, then I'm a little bit worried because then we have a potential failure going on. We're not doing it yet. The upside squeeze, and I'll kind of go into this with kind of like the long-term prediction, is that this bouncy ball move that you see sometimes where you'll go into a structure and then you'll kind of do the bouncy ball into it until it'll finally break out.
Standing formation.
Yeah. So what you're really doing with this is that you're stacking liquidity at the only resistance point. So if there's resistance here, which there is, there's people shorting here, which they are. The more shallow the little bounces, the higher the probability of breakout. Because resistance and support do not become stronger over time; they become weaker. They can become weaker because of liquidity. If every time we go to one level and it holds there, or goes the upside and it holds there, that's where people are taking positions to enter positions. So if you're playing this little range, good on you. It's a nice little 1K plus range that you can play very easily. The higher time frame structure is we're going up till proven otherwise. And if we do actually break out, like Will said, the max pain right now may be just leaving everyone on the sideline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like your points as well about support and resistance. Essentially, if it's hanging around there and you keep battering it with a hammer, there's only so long until the hammer's going to go through the wall or the door, essentially. So yeah, it's definitely I would say ascending right now. And like we've said already on this video, it's these people who are trying to short into this with absolute, you're basically shorting into the complete dark. Even if it does go back to 32, that's where you're looking to buy. You're essentially there's no trade here.
Yeah, I agree completely. Unless you're low time frame scalping it, in which case play the range until proven
1 minute,
otherwise.
then fine. Yeah, if you're in and out in a minute or 2 or 10 minutes, then yeah, of course you can scalp. But I'm talking about these guys who are like, I'm just shorting because it's not going to get above this resistance zone. It's like, dude, you're going to get fucking licked. It just it's exposing these people of their inability.
They're mentally captured by the idea of bullish and bearish. It's like these terms I truly believe exist for the most part. We talk about bullish and bearish and upward. Well, we talk about it, and when we talk about it, it's upward and downward price action, gain or loss of level. When they talk about it, it's like, oh, I'm going to short because I'm a bear, haha, and like, I'm going to wreck the, or no, we're going to wreck the bear.
It's not being right or wrong, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And if your thesis is proven wrong, flip your bias. It's not like this is evidence based, not like emotional.
They'd rather be right than rich. Exactly. They will die on the hill. They will die on the hill. But anyway, we'll talk about this later. Yeah. Just give us your predictions, man. What do you think? So like you think long until proven otherwise, you're looking at this. Is this a fractal you think could happen now? Or
this is a really cool one. This is actually the January fractal. So if I just zoom out on like the daily time frame and go back to the January structure, right? Where we had a very strong upside move, entirely parabolic. Everyone's like, oh, well, we're going to short this because we're at major resistance. When what will actually happen? We had a continuation of the move because that was the max pain. Everyone had been shorting and losing levels for a very long time. Same thing as now. Everyone's shorting and losing levels all summer long, essentially, to break down to new lows. And that's exactly what happened. Max pain was the breakout to the upside. And this fractal is actually friggin' hilarious when you look at the prices that it goes to. If this thing were to actually do the similar fractal, again, markets never repeat, but they do rhyme. Something similar, that upside move, where does this take us? 38K, 39K, 40K. What do we have? First major rejection, come back to retest previous structure, 35K, bounce back up, 41, 42. Arcing down takes us quite a long time to build up that downside liquidity. We have a major flush out and then the major regain, right? The major higher low regain that would retest all of the high time frame structure, in which case you could have the full test back up to that 47, 48K zone, which is probably where it should stop, right? Before the halvening, before everything else. But
yeah, I think it's
not that it will.
We get above 48. I think it's very unlikely. I think if the institutions begin to pile in, we get to 14, 15, 16% institutional owned Bitcoin, then yeah, maybe. But I don't see it as of now.
No, I agree with that. So that's the big thing. It's like if we get it, if we don't, and then talking with the local structure as well, how we've actually done with some higher time frame levels. If I look at things like high time frame bullish and bearish engulfing candles, stuff like that, where are we at in the overall structure? Well, there's some really major levels up there. 2022 yearly open is all the way up at 46.2. That's if you look at the previous bear market cycle, we perfectly retested the previous yearly open to the failure to go lower. Not saying we'll get it again. There's not really a lot of evidence yet, but where are we at in the local structure? 35K is a massive level. It's not just psychological. It's monthly and weekly support and resistance. If we gain that, my targets are 37K, potentially even a 39K until we start seeing some type of pullback. And I think that's pretty self-evident. What I don't want to see at any point is collapsing back into like the 30.5s and stuff, in which case this entire move up, if we just Bart Simpson it, this is the deviation for downside price action. And then we start talking about the major market long liquidity. All of the longs, from this area, right? All of the longs from 28K all the way down to 25K. That would just absolutely nuke us.
I got my longs down there. Yeah, I've got a few down. And the trading bot went long down there as well. We actually still have a bot position open on Bybit from down there. I think it's like, I don't even know, 26K, something like that.
Yeah. And I think that's where the liquidity is. If you really want to access long liquidity now, what you need to do is start actually failing levels. But until we start failing levels, one of the best things we can see is especially... Yeah, exactly. So if you want to start trying to get people to flush out, I would probably argue for the grind down if you want to start getting people, to start trying to long again.
Sure. Yeah, well, I would say if you do that as well, they're going to start thinking it's over. So they start shorting more. That gives more fuel for the upside. And then we continue.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too, is that in this area from the upside move, we had a really good, strong spot volume buying to the upside. So we just go look at volume. So volume spikes hit the entire way to the upside. Are we back now below previous volume levels? We are. We're back at volume that we were seeing back in these lows, back around 25K, because people don't want to buy it up here.
What's the liquidation engine saying on your end for the MDX indicator liquidations? Have you had a look at where we're looking at? Yeah, okay, so it's kind of a lot built up beneath us. I could see it going. I could see this really. I could see this just holding all this stuff up down here for a while. If we do get a continuation on this, and then it comes back later on in the year, maybe into next year, and just wipes it all out, and then we go.
I mean, that's the ideal thing, is that we get to the halving and then we nuke off a cliff.
Yeah, I do think that's very, very. I actually do, and also with the. I don't want to go macro, macho on you with the macro stuff, but I'm saying there is quite a lot of evidence to state that, when the inverted yield happens and then interest rates begin to fall and the Fed begin to cut rates, there is actually quite an interesting correlation there between the stock market falling in price when there's like three factors. There's an inverted yield, it's the interest rates coming down, and I think there's some sort of net flow, of capital moving out of I think it's some sort of pulling money out of the market through, obviously, the raising of rates, and then it's pulling out liquidity for the debt cycle. I can't remember exactly what the third one was. Yeah. But there is I think that could be definitely a scenario. I've said from the beginning of the year, I think we have a good we could be at 40K by the end of the year. But if we do see that, and then also we could couple something maybe with the SPX breaking down, then yeah, I could see some sort of flush back down to get all this liquidity. But as of right now, I'm not looking for any shorts right now. No.
Hey. No, and I think that's a good mentality to have in this zone. There's not really anything that says we're going lower. And even with the liquidity we have locally, we've got some nice long liquidity built up. We got some higher leverage stuff from about 33.9 all the way down to about 33.4. Some lower leverage longs that are built down at 32.8 to 32.7. My big things are always liquidity grabs, because they're the easiest trades once you have failures. And a lot of times you'll see those as priority trend to the upside. We have a major flush down, like almost like a straight candle down, but then the candle closes above previous support. And the moment those things happen, there has to be alarm bells in your head saying, what did we just do? If I was a market maker and I wanted to maximize my entries, where am I going to take the position? Am I going to take the position, and hopefully hold support, or I'm going to wait for major liquidity flush out of like local long liquidity? I need those liquidations for larger positions anyways. So that's where I get my fill.
Yeah, what's that? I'm looking at MDX algo as well, because I'm just keeping an eye on what's going on. You can just carry on. I'm just keeping on the long to short ratio. Let me start whip up my chart a second, because it's obviously something we look at on the lower time frames. And also you can do, I would say, the daily is for crypto, it's a higher time frame. But right now we are actually getting a huge amount of shorts coming out. I was looking on my other screen. You can see here that 54% of the market is short, and that's retail based. And then look, guys, the top traders, that's a big, big divergence there. So top traders on Binance are getting long. Top traders means this is probably about 15 traders. These are the top guys on the exchange. They're 60% long. Guess what retail are doing? They're shorting it. So the, let's say, less advanced trader, someone who's not advanced, they are looking at this as being a Bart Simpson. The guys who have been making money consistently are looking at this for a continuation. And that's actually really interesting information for me, because this has been this is definitely going to get people worried. This is a short-term play, right? We have all this resistance up here. We have all the support. It came, like you actually just said, Chris, if this comes down on an hourly, then goes to there, guess what? It's broken this area of support, but then it closes above it. We might actually be getting this right now. And this is what's going to get everybody super scared. We made a lower low, but guess what? You come back up to here, back down, higher low, and look what it starts to look like, guys. You look in an ascending formation, you're knocking, let's just say knocking, not on heaven's door, but you're knocking on fucking hell's door. Resistance. Okay, you could say heaven, actually. It's going up, so we'll call it heaven for this specific example, but resistance is getting tapped. The more you're going to hit that resistance zone, the more likely you are to break it. And look, all these levels, guys, are just drawn on for you automatically. And it's long until proven otherwise. Let me just quickly show you this as well. Let me get up my other chart. This is looking at, why is my Fiverr account up? Legends. I've been getting some videos made. So yeah, this is the bot, the trading bot on Bingx, guys. Obviously, this is completely free to use. We're not asking for, we are at 0% profit, Legends. I'm doing this because I don't want to get wrecked by all these fucking crypto influencers. This went long at, this specific bot didn't actually, is the one on Bybit, but this is actually already up $226. Anyone who's using the bot, only 42 people following this right now. But anyone who's using this bot is already up $226. But the trade which happened on Bybit happened at 26K. And the reason I know that this is still long until proven otherwise is because the bot hasn't come out yet. It's a long-term swing trading bot. If it's still long and the stop losses are moving up beneath it, it means the trend is your friend, your continuation on this. So like we said at the beginning of the video, and I'll bring you back in a second, Chris. Like we said at the very beginning of this video, we are perfectly bouncing in between this range-bound environment here. Anyone who tells you on a medium-term play, and I'm looking at my systems, my trading systems, etc. Anyone who's telling you that's the top side and that's the bottom side, just roughly. Anyone who's saying right now on the medium term you should be shorting here is completely ludicrous. There is no strategy. There is no rationale for this. There's no support and resist. Sorry, there's no risk to reward, and there's no logical entry or exit on this. Where's your stop loss? What's your lot size? How much are you doing?
It's a coin flip.
It's absolute bullshit. This has to be
a coin flip, and they're going to delete their tweets after they're wrong.
They're going to delete their tweets. They're going to cry in the sand and wait for everyone to forget. You got to remember, if my bot has a stop loss, which I know it's around here, okay, my stop loss on my bot is here, you've got to break that first and then retest it, and then you got your fucking trade. If it just goes like that, then fine. That can happen, but that's not, you can't just wait for a lightning bolt to hit you and electrify you so you have energy. You know, it's just fucking gambling. And that's a really strange. I need to wait. This is what these guys are doing who are shorting. They're waiting in a field for a lightning bolt to hit them to give them energy. What the fuck? How do you know where it's going to hit? It's bullshit. You're still getting these high lows coming in. I think there's actually a little bit of trickery here. We'll see where this ends up. But if we do get above this guy above us, let me actually bring up the other chart as well. I mean, I think it should be the hourly chart, which is showing you exactly where. So you have this nice pocket of resistance here. It's actually drawn on very nicely for you. And then let me have a look at the 4 hour as well, see where we're at. Maybe actually let's get on a lower time frame and really zoom in on this. And I'll bring you back in, Chris, for your next part of the segment. The segment, sir. But yeah, so it's obviously this is the very top wick, guys. But actually what you're really looking for is in here. And that's where the resistance is coming in. So I do think if we come up here, guys, hold it and break, that's where we're going to be the continuation. I think we're going to go probably to around $40,000. And I think you have to be long until proven otherwise on this. If you lose the wicks, we go low. I'm just restating this again and again and again. I want to make sure we do actual analysis, which gives you value. We say what we think. We say why we think it. We are happy to be wrong. We're happy to be right. And we actually put something out there, because you get all these guys who are just doing all these fucking things. It's like, what are you even achieving here? I'm telling you right now, it's long until proven otherwise. If we break the lows, we're going down in the trades. Just to reiterate again, guys, between 32 and $30,000 where I'm looking for long. So 32K is here and 30K. This is the area where you're saying, okay, if we do break here, this level, which will be around 33,000, come into here, you break down. That's now where you're looking for it to bounce back up. Okay. And that's where you want to get into some longs. That'll be a nice bounce trade. I think that'd be a really juicy bounce trade, actually. And then the next short, not now, the next short's going to be up here around 40K. Okay. And that coincides nicely with our Fibonacci's, the Fibonacci's, Mr. Fib. 48, the 618 retracement. And we've also got our 0.5 retracement, which is 40K and the 45 above us. And I will tag you back in, brother. Tell me what you got for me. Tell me what you got. So,
really interesting stuff. And this is actually why the majority of us caught this massive push up. We actually correlate funding rates. I mean, we always joke about how easy it was to trade like 4 years ago.
Funding days, man. I love the funding days.
Oh my God. So easy. But so yeah, we would all trade the BitMEX premium funding rate because that was the way the market was going, because that was the majority of the market. Now we just pull in a bunch of data, volume data from all the different exchanges, like top 5, 6. And then what do we see?
You use it all the time, man. I see you in the groups, bro. You use this indicator. This is the MDX Trendmaster correlated funding rates. It's a fucking beast, man. It's a good job.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, what did we see back on last Monday? We saw a massive spike in negative funding rates. What does negative funding rates mean? It means upside moves are being prioritized. It means the funding is actually, if you're a liquidity provider or market maker, you're incentivized to take long. So if you're providing liquidity to these exchanges, which a lot of these big money guys are, because they get paid just to provide liquidity, they're looking at the funding rates, because they have certain, allotments of liquidity they have to provide within certain periods. Like I
don't want to cut you off too much, but another lie. Everyone listen to this right. Another lie is that market makers are good traders. Absolute bullshit. They just have a mandate All they do is fill liquidity. If anyone on this fucking YouTube says to you, you should listen to me because I used to be a market maker, they are a complete con scam. You do not need to know where the price is going to be a market maker. Your mandate is just to fill the books either side. That is it. Bullshit. Don't fuck around. You hear this all the time from these people in the crypto space.
Oh, I agree completely. There are some really good ones, but at the same time, everyone who saw that massive funding rate switch essentially said, okay, we're massively increasing funding, massively incentivizing upside moves before the move happened. So we're gaining lower time frame levels, and then we have the God candle up. I mean, it was predicted. It was done. So since then, even in the current structure, we've got quite a bit of bearish funding. And it came in extremely hard once we had this move up to 35K. And this kind of goes into the thesis of why we did it. A lot of people were saying this is really fundamental. I don't care about the fundamentals. I care about the technicals. This to me is liquidity getting wiped out of the market. All of the remaining shorts in the bear market going back a year plus are gone. They're completely taken out. And that was the major upside move. That was all shorts taken out of the market. All of the major shorts. Now that they're all out of the market and still getting punished, why is price still going up? Because people are still trying to short. Funding rates are still very bearish. Liquidity providers are still happy because they're not losing massive amounts of money and getting paid to provide liquidity. So it doesn't matter if the bearish funding rate is in until we actually start losing levels. Now, if we start losing structure to the downside, closing lower, and funding rates become more bearish, my alarms or all my alerts are going to go off and say, hey, we're doing the damn thing and we're going to do the Bart Simpson. We're not there yet. Funding rates are still bearish. They need liquidity in the books. All of the shorts in the books got taken out. So what do they need to rebalance the books? They need people to provide short liquidity.
Yeah, and also if you look on the frickin' MDX algo, sir, the dashboard, we do have a lot of shorts coming in. Okay, so we've got a lot of people shorting. Yeah. We can see a big divergence here between top traders are getting long, the scrubs and the guys who aren't experienced, which is fine, are getting short. And I've even seen that in a whole load of these Twitter comments and these free groups. A lot of people are just no, if it goes up, we must short. If it goes up, it must short. And that's the mentality of what drives these fucking bull markets in crypto so much, because there's no real leverage. Everyone's shorting every high and then just get boom, and it just pushes the market up to another level, another leg. That's why these legs happen so quickly. It's not everybody suddenly buying when it breaks. It's actually what's happening in a forced sell. Oh, sorry, it's a forced buy, from short positions. But this is what we're getting right now. A lot of fucking people actually shorting this market. And like I said, all these people on the internet who are like, yes, I'm getting short now. It's a load of bollocks. Even if the market does come back down, guys, I've said it already. If the market does fall and it goes back to $31,000 and that's a successful trade, it's still out of the premise of gambling. It's just lucky that happened. There's no structure breaks here. There's nothing here. We've just gone up a fucking pole. We're going sideways in a range. We haven't lost any levels. The level to be buying is between 32 and 30K. That's a long place. There's a long trade. I even said actually earlier, if you can see this, guys, that on the SPX. So this is a trade you could have all taken. I did this on my Twitter. This is one of my bread and butter trades that I've made literally millions of dollars over a decade doing. And it's two very simple indications. You're at logical support and you look at a momentum indicator. Depending on what the momentum indicator is up to you. But for me, I use the MDX oscillator stack, which is a combination of different oscillators all in one. And you can see here, guys, that I'm preempting into the future what's going to happen in terms of the momentum switching to the price action. And this is actually very likely going to result in bullish. So this will be a regular bullish divergence. And you have it at support as well. And guess what, guys? What's the SPX? If I can fucking talk, we're all a bit tired. Daylight savings. But what we're seeing right now, guys, is if you had have taken that trade, which you could have, obviously it's not financial advice to you, it's just what I did. But on the SPX, guys, you're looking at an almost 2% move. Okay, so that's obviously nothing in crypto, but that is a very, very good trade for the traditional market. And the SPX is coming up. Just to get into the SPX a little bit, if we do hold here, guys, and this actually will very likely print bullish divergence. Let me just explain why. You literally have price action, lower highs and lower lows falling. So it's a lower high and a lower low coming down. And then you actually have a higher low coming in here. You could maybe say a higher high, but that won't be a regular bullish divergence. If you're looking for hidden bullish divergence, it's slightly different. So what you're looking for, guys, is a bullish divergence to play out here. And then this is actually what we're getting on the SPX. And I do think There's a lot of doomsdayers. There's a lot of guys saying that, look at the transportation index, look at oil, look at all these other factors, look at the macro schmacko. As long as they're above support, I do think that this actually could be the basing of the bottom here. And I think it could look very similar to this. I'm not going to put this out as a public prediction. I need more time to evaluate what we do at support here. But I would say if I was going to, put a gun to my head and say that would probably be the likely scenario we're going to get here. I also think gold will cool off here as well. So if gold cools off, I do think the SPX could actually take a little bit of that might, that purchasing power. And I do think Dixie might be getting there as well. I think Dixie has one more go. Guess what, guys? Everyone was saying that the Dixie's already topped. And I was saying, no, legends are at support. Dixie actually does look like it wants to continue up a little bit higher. Yes, that isn't great for SPX and that isn't great for Bitcoin. It isn't great for gold in general. But this might take multiple months, if not weeks, to happen. We're at resistance here as well. Break through that. I think we're coming up here. But, we're seeing a little bit of a change here anyway. Bitcoin has managed to rally quite aggressively. Just because Dixie is going up, it doesn't necessarily mean that the SPX has to go down. It could just mean that the SPX goes flat, or it could go up. We've seen in multiple times in history that Dixie going up and SPX is going up, and Bitcoin as well. Like the Dixie's going up right now and Bitcoin's going up. The main correlation to the Dixie is gold. And there is a very, very strong correlation there. If Dixie is rallying, it's very, very likely that you're going to see gold dropping because they are the most tradable connected pair. So I don't want to go too far into this because I want to analyze this a little bit further, but I do think this could be something which we're looking at here. If we hold this support, obviously, guys, if we lose, we're going down to the next leg, etc., etc., etc. And if we get
probably mid-range of that previous range, if we lose
into here, and then probably maybe something like that, and then maybe in like this, and then do it again here, and just do the whole same thing again. I think SPX is going to do okay. A lot of people are doomsdaying this and saying a lot of shit, and I also do think as well, if this does play out, I think Bitcoin could end up doing, what we've all been fucking waiting for, and it's the golden retracement. Maybe let's just say for an example right now, this is not a prediction, but let's just say we do go to 31, then we come back up into here. I think it's just swooping around and just doing the same thing between 30 and 48, and that's what SPX is going to do. And then we'll end up looking like the 2014. It'll be this bull market here. It won't be, it'll be this bull market here, not this bull market. It'll be the first one we did, which is a much more like linear, like kind of just consistently going like that instead of this big, everyone's fucking waiting for. But yeah, I'm kind of blasting off now, but I'm saying, I've gone through it multiple times, guys. Obviously on these videos, go rewatch the beginning of them. And the bot as well. Like, I just want to say one more point. If the bot is fucking long, like it is, you're not looking for shorts yet. You got to wait for it to break. Look at
it's too early.
It's too early. It's way too early. It's a fucking gambling. One last thing I want to mention till I bring you in as well was obviously on this channel, guys, with me and what I trade all time frames. I can trade higher time frames, obviously, as an investor. I can trade medium-term time frames as a swing trader, but I also scalp trade as well. And I have the luxury to only take trades that I think are fit for my criteria. So this morning, I think this was this morning, or maybe yesterday, we had this formation playing out. And this is a very, very, very good formation. They have a very high rate of playing out, okay? And this, I did this tweet. I did this on Discord. I say, keep an eye out for shorts, guys. If we do break this lower trend line, we're looking for a short-term position down. And I do think that we'll find support at the 786 retracement. The only reason I'm saying this, guys, is I post these dailies in the chat. I've made multiple, hundreds of people millionaires over the years I've been trading. And I'm doing this because this literally played out to a T. It broke trend back in lower high. Guess what? And guess what this is, guys? Just to be completely fucking... Look how clever I am, sir. If you do this, God, I sound like such a bellend saying that, but we'll continue. Look how fucking clever I am. But guys, if you do this, I don't know where my fib tool is. I'll do it on the other chart, actually. I've got this in my other ones. If you go on the hourly, guys, very simple. I'll take this area. Where am I going? Fucking all over the gaff. So this is a scalp trade. This is exactly the place we're at. You can see that here is the trend line going beneath it, like that and like that. If you actually do a Fibonacci retracement, guys, this is just coming down to pure fucking experience in the market. Fibonacci retracement, look where we came to. That is literally, I'm not on perfectly, but look at this. That is on, when I do it exactly high, that is the 786 retracement to the nail. So expansion, I think we're going to go to the 786 retracement. This is all in real time, guys. Even everyone's in the group. Everyone's like, oh no, this is AI. It's not fucking AI. It's just real shit happening every single day. All you got to do is join my VIP group, and I will save you from the fucking noobs and the crypto influencers who want to just degen you into every altcoin they buy at the bottom. Okay, so just that's what I just wanted to mention there as well. The links are below to MDX Algo. I'm going to tag you back in, brother. You're coming back.
Yeah, no, I love it. Absolutely love all the scalping stuff. It's 100% right. And we talked a lot about macro and all these things that people are looking at that are really bad for the market. Oh, doomsdaying, geopolitical, blah, blah, blah. And what does that, what's that mentality make you think of? I mean, think about it like as a trader. If everyone is thinking bearish and down and, oh, it's going lower, and everyone thinks that, like that's the general kind of like lingering negativity about the market conditions. Where are we going with crypto? It's going up. Where's TradFi? Are we still in a major upside move from the lows from last October? Yes. So the idea that we've now had some type of like major break of structure and we're completely wrecked out and there's no chance of us ever recovering. We're just going to go to new lows and major recession or depression. Like, that's fine. You can always prepare for that. But at the same time, it's like you got to play what you're shown on the charts. Like that's
people,
why the
and
quote
also
is,
people, everyone says this, but people say and do the opposite. Like everyone said they weren't going to vote for Trump, but they did. So like, just like, it's like fucking bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. Don't listen to it. We've done this a million times, but just look at the charts, be objective. You'll be fine. Don't listen to the crypto influencers because you will lose everything. So
yeah, I mean, it's the 80-20 rule in real time. 80% has to lose money
principle, right?
That's the whole point. It's the whole point. And the only thing that would have me thinking we're seeing a significant further collapse in the S&P and the rest of the market, what do we have to do? We have to lose 4.1K on the S&P. We need to lose and bearish retest Q2, lose the overall market direction on the higher time frame, and then we would come where? We're going back probably to the mid-range, just at just under 4K, potentially back to the yearly open for another test. Not that we need to do it. But the whole doom and gloom thing is just, I love it. Like, I love it when people panic sell. I loved it back during the COVID dump. It was like the easiest money any of us have ever made was the COVID dump and all that stuff. Everyone's nuking and selling everything where everyone else is like, oh my gosh, I'm buying it for under 5K.
Spot. Yeah, I was just buying spot every day. I remember I think I actually did. I do have buys at like 3005, 3006. I had a long as well. I had one of my best trades ever down there. And it was, wasn't a short. Everyone thought, did you short it? No, I just didn't. I don't know what could expect. Like the people who made money on a short from the COVID crash was just luck. Like you didn't know that was going to happen at that aggressive. There is a scenario in my head which I did go through, and there was actually some evidence to state that maybe we would have gone down quite significantly anyway without COVID. I do think it exacerbated the move because it was already breaking down of structure. So if you had a traded classical TA anyway, you would have been short. Okay, so you would have been in that trade. But to get that massive exacerbated move and make all that money, like, oh, what did you make all your money in the short? No, it was the longing of the market down there which made me most of the money. And people forget that. They're like, oh yeah, but how did you miss that? It's like, no. That can come out of nowhere. You're not waiting for the black swan to then happen to make it all back. I'm going to make all my money back I lost from one black swan, waiting to get struck by lightning to
and that's the worst mentality to have. It's like if you've lost money in the market, like it's gone. If you play the game of like, oh, if I just do this, I'll get this back. That's every single gambling addict ever has that same mentality.
Set of tools, a strategy to get some indicators in MDX out. If you've lost money, the way you get back is by having MDX algo, the support, the coaches, the mentoring, the indicators, and the ability to have a system. We have people in the groups who have lost millions of dollars. They've made it all back, not in one trade, how the song goes, but they made it all back in by applying MDX algo. It's insane. It's actually incredible to watch. I love it. Makes me feel so fucking good.
It does. But looking at some of the more macro stuff and the whole VIX, eventually we're gonna have another VIX spike and a major sell-off at some point. I mean, it's going to happen. But I think going back to the point more of like crypto and Bitcoin, if we do start finding ourselves in a bit of a sideways flat range, something that I really want to keep an eye on is Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is actually right now breaking some levels. Again, this is a calculated percentage. Take your TA with a grain of salt when you have calculated percentages. But what are we? Bitcoin dominance is completely and utterly parabolic. We're not losing major high time frame structure or anything yet. But if we do have some sideways on the Bitcoin dominance, the daily's actually down quite a significant amount. If we have some breakdown of the dominance and Bitcoin holds price, like that's always my go-to is when, BTC price is going flat or even low volume pumping, and then Bitcoin dominance is just nuking. What's happening to the flow of money in crypto? It's going into alts. People are trying to maximize their exposure, and like we all made money in Bitcoin, and nobody's really selling because they wanted to keep going up. But dominance is falling because people are putting money into altcoins. So if that's the case, there is still quite a bit of local short liquidity, even higher time frame short liquidity on a lot of the major altcoins that could see a rally. Again, it hasn't happened yet. It's not started, but it's still a major possibility for a lot of these alts that are performing quite well, that are solving problems, that are good products, that have an ecosystem built around a token that is a functioning part of it. Marketing teams and the general management team of it. If they're good, it's probably a good move, like Rune today, like a couple of altcoins a day that are just absolutely
we can go to altcoins.
Yeah.
I wanted to. I think we got some altcoins. Yeah, I've actually got some nice alts. But yeah, carry on what you're saying, brother.
No, that was the big thing. Is that I watch Bitcoin dominance, and if you don't want to invert the chart, which you want to see the actual percentages. Yeah, there you go. Invert the chart. What's the gain back to go back to the upside on dominance?
Yeah, I've honestly been saying this. I've been saying this to all of these fucking altcoin cretins. I get it. Altcoins will perform better than Bitcoin eventually at the end of the market. But I've been saying this from the beginning. Bitcoin has to go first. It's super logical, a super logical explanation. And the reason it has to go first is because it has the most trading pairs. It has the most connections. It has the most on-ramps. So people...
Most exposure, most off-ramps.
Most exposure. There has to be, there's more connections to the outside world, and also there's more connection to the inside world. It's just the highest tradable pair and the most on ramp. So like, just out of the grand scheme of things, if everyone just tomorrow said yes, but Ethereum is better than Bitcoin, it still means by default Bitcoin will have to go up in price, because to go into that Ethereum gateway is just more difficult than Bitcoin. Not saying it has to be a massive percentage, but just generally speaking, about over a lot of people, there's going to be that Bitcoin pressure. So Bitcoin is essentially the gatekeeper of the market. We've already known that. And people who are getting into these altcoins now, what they're going to do is they're going to miss the Bitcoin run. They're going to capitulate at the end of the Bitcoin run, get into Bitcoin, and then miss the altcoin run. So you'd rather just stay in Bitcoin at a higher percentage and then flip to some alts. I've got one alt actually I can quickly show now. Let me quickly whip it up for you. So this is this is ridiculous. Like, this is not to do... Like, this is not a medium cap. This is a micro. But this altcoin, I do think, has a lot of potential. You can wait for the Bitcoin run, but for me, I do have an investment in this just because it's so micro. If this does a 10x from here, it's ridiculous. So it's called Prop Chain, guys. It's actually blasting off right now. I think it's done. And then, guys, just to mention as well, this is an investment. Okay, so this is a long-term investment. I'm not looking to trade this day by day, but it's at a really nice move off the lows, guys. We actually did get to a high price of $2.50, I think it was. It's an $8.7 million market cap. It's called Prop Chain. Obviously, guys, this is just what I'm investing in. Go do what you got to do, whatever. I'm not saying go and buy it yourself, but I do think this has legs for a longer term investment. Yes, like I've already said, guys, you do want to wait for Bitcoin to run first. And this is about mid caps. Micro caps, if you just want to make an investment, put $1,000 into it and leave it for a rainy day, fine. That's what you can do. You don't have to let that run up and fucking think about it. Forget about a rainy day. The point we're trying to make is that Bitcoin will go first. Most medium cap altcoins will not. Even micro caps as well, to be honest. And then the money will trickle for Bitcoin back into these altcoins. Micro cap altcoins, essentially, though, most of them are uncorrelated to a degree. If you're below $10 million, it's very likely going to be completely uncorrelated. All it takes is a big buyer or a big seller. And guess what? Everything's changed. Okay. So don't get fucking all like oh my God, if Bitcoin's going up, it means that altcoins who are under 10 million have to go down. It's like, no. It's not. They can fucking 10x out of nowhere. You've seen that with Mina, Flocky. Look at Flocky and shit. It's just doing mad shit right now. But yeah,
I agree completely.
Take some alts, man. 100%. Take us for an altcoin trip. I know what you like, Viking over there. You're the Viking. You're sailing around the altcoin seas in the groups. I see them all the time. Let's go for some alts.
So yeah, Rune, big winner, has been a big winner for a while. Major upside moves, major higher low gain of structure, vertical accumulation that's now led to highs that we haven't seen in over a year and 3 months. So the one thing I will say with Rune, and some of these things have already gone, the most important thing I care about, I look at altcoins, is I look at the market structure. So a lot of this took a year to do. It took a year to do it, to build the short liquidity up there, and then we still had access to some of the stuff higher. When you actually look at altcoins that haven't made the move higher, there is a higher probability of them making that move. But the altcoin in question, and kind of and similar to what you said, Max, about the idea behind, you know, the driver, you can't be expecting microcaps to do these major parabolic moves unless there's some fundamental stuff behind it, some big buyers, some shilling, that type of stuff. But when it comes to like the higher, you know, functioning altcoins, stuff like Rune, stuff like AVAX, stuff like I don't know, name something, Link,
like you
things
know,
are actually
like
doing
Dot
things
and stuff. Like, hi, I'm Dot. Adder had a nice move. I think what was that other one? Link's having a nice move at the moment.
Oh, Link's breaking out of its friggin' horrific downside range. It's at highs it has not seen since probably the May, so 18-month highs that we're seeing on Chainlink. So
yeah, it's nice.
This is a total. I mean, what did it take? It took almost a textbook accumulation, but then just led to a major range breakout. But what did it do? It took 18 months to do it.
Yeah,
right?
most people haven't got the time. The people who are just buying every day, in terms of, it's an investment for me as well. Bitcoin is going to outperform Link first. Like, I just want to mention this again. I don't want to go over it too much, but I think Bitcoin is going to outperform Link first. You know, I think Bitcoin could do an extremely aggressive bull market. Link will win eventually, but you ride the Bitcoin train, and then, you know, remember 2017, 18 with that altcoin rally. Bitcoin went, and then the altcoins went afterwards. We had a double win essentially, and then it went end up in cash in USDT. So, but yeah, just want to mention this something as well. I really like the colors on your chart, mate. And like, if you just literally do this, everything you see on this chart right now, legends. If you this is obviously MDX algo I'm talking about. You click one button. You click. I can't believe how ridiculously easy we've made trading for charting. Essentially, like, we have obviously buy and sell signals, but if you want to do a traditional chartist way, if you want to do a traditional principle trading, you know, if you want to go into it in a, let's just say, trying to funneling my words here, but if you want to go down the road of traditional trading principles, we have indicators which you click one button. Do it again, Chris. Show them how easy it is at the top. One button, and it's on. Everything's done. Support, resistance, open, closes, monthly, weeklies, yearlies. You've got all of your higher lows and lower lows.
Fibs, price projection, all the crazy
I just got to
stuff.
mention this again because it's just, I look at it and I'm just like, if I had this when I started, like, what? Okay, obviously I had to do the lines myself, but like, it would have saved
We'd be living
me.
on an island, dude.
I'll be on a fucking island. I would. No, it's not even that. It's not even like I've started a great career. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that I would have saved my time, which would have allowed me to. It's like a DJ. This is the analogy I use. Okay, DJs with CDJs back in the day, or vinyls, they could never beat match. Beat matching is not difficult. Okay, everyone can do it, but it takes time and effort out of your set. You have to actually sit there and actually wind the beats up and make them so they're synced. The thing is with that, nowadays, you just click one button, you click sync, and then the DJ doesn't have to worry about it anymore. So he can then put his mental capacity and his mind to other things. He can just have more mind equity to then think about a different thing. And then that's why these DJ sets today are so fucking great, because the DJ's not trying to think every 5 minutes about beat matching the beats together. You just click sync. I just think to myself with trading, if I had these tools, it would have allowed me to think about other aspects of trading quickly, or more quicker, you know. And I just think it's massive. I think it's massively fucking powerful, man.
I mean, but that's the majority of like the strategy that goes through. It's like, that's what my strategy is. I have a list of things. I used to actually write them down as Post-it notes, like around my screen, of like, all of these criteria must be hit for me to enter a trade, or 8 out of 80% of those criteria.
Yeah, depending on this percentage. Yeah, the amount you put in.
It has to have risk reward ratios are strong and high, like 3-to-1, 4-to-1 higher. Taking profit, moving stop loss in the profit. That's all great principles, but using the indicators as far as like a confluence tool of like, okay, we're losing levels, we're losing this. This is retesting. You have that confluence list that says, okay, we're doing all of these things. what's the probability? The probability is 80% that we're going to break down and lose this lower. Bang, 80%. I'll take an 80% trade any day of the week. You know.
What do you think about Chainlink, brother? Let's go, man. I like a bit of chain. As we're on Chainlink right now, it's a very similar chart to the Itty Bitty, to be honest.
Oh yeah, very similar. It looks good until we lose like previous support, like weekend support. So 10.8. If we start doing that, we probably have a bigger retracement back into some previous structure. Probably retest the previous weekly open around 10.1. If we have any type of breakdown, followed by Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks down to 33K, as an example, Chainlink's going to 10.1. That's probably my argument. But currently, we're flat, sideways. Most alts, as long as Bitcoin's running flat, there's a higher probability that they're going to have upside continuation as long as Bitcoin dominance is falling. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. And let's have a look at some of these micros, because Chainlink at this point, right? I've got my bags. I'm in my I have an investment in Chainlink. I spoke about this openly on my Twitter. I have an investment in Chainlink, and I'm very happy to see it break out of this accumulation. But the only trade I'm taking, guys, is if it back tests the top of that accumulation. You can show us now, Chris, because everyone's telling me on fucking, why aren't you looking for the short on Bitcoin, or why aren't you looking for the long on Bitcoin? I'm like, no. There's no fucking long or short on Bitcoin now. You got to wait for it to retest 30 or 32 to be logical in terms of any principle or traditional strategy. So the same thing goes with Link. If it doesn't come back, fine. I don't accumulate more Link. I've got my long-term investment. But if it does come, then I look to buy. And the buy zone is going to be where your mouse cursor is essentially right now. There's a little pocket, and I can't see the prices, but between the top wick and the middle going down a little bit. So it's a nice little pocket between there and there. That's where I'm looking to buy. That's my next buy on Link for sure.
Yeah, and that's all conditional that Bitcoin doesn't, do essentially a massive deviation, right? This is all conditional. Again, if Bitcoin says, hey...
Even if it does, I'll buy. I don't care. Even if it does that, I'll buy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like we have the plans in place in case we do the deviation and come back and start failing stuff like quarterly levels, 30.5, and now we have access to this high leverage, long liquidity in the market, which is all of it. Like, obviously, if we flush 25K, we're going probably lower than 20K. But we're so far above it, price is accelerating to the upside. The big thing we have to remember is that what's max pain if we're gaining levels and going higher for people who are afraid to enter?
Everyone's short. Yeah, 6% short.
Yeah, they're either shorting or they're waiting to enter the market and they get skipped.
Yeah.
And then they panic buy. They panic buy, when we make more levels to the upside. And then that's the high. Because everyone's like, it's the same thing as freaking last cycle, right? It's every single little, even micro cycles. It's everyone gets skipped. Oh, I didn't get the trade enough. Everybody apes in because it's hitting the news cycle. All this fresh new retail money is like, I'm putting all my money in Bitcoin, Laserwise, Moon, 100K, Lambo.
Actually, I want to show something. Actually, you just literally reminded me of something. So this is exactly a lot of I got into a really, really successful short. I can't remember exactly where it was. It was this one here, I think. This short here. So I think it was like 30K trade. I got on a lower time frame actually, and someone mentioned this on my Twitter or something. I can't remember. I was like, "You don't short here. This is ridiculous." And he was like, "Oh, but why did you short this?" Remember when I live shorted this on stream? I literally shorted here, and it went all the way back, made like $30,000. Got into another position back up, and I had an absolute wonder. It was almost like God had come to me and say, "I will give you the most perfect entry and exits on both of my trades." I was like, "Thank you, Lord." And someone said to me, but this went up, and you shorted, and it went down. I'm like, brother, listen to me right now. There's a whole different structure here. You can see that the market has aggressively rallied in a very short period of time and has not managed to make a new high. So if you come down to it and you draw a line like this, guess what happened? It got respected multiple times. This is a logical.
And then you have the deviation that also respected it.
Exactly. Deviation which also respected it. You have here, look at this level. This is literally drawn on for years. This is a support and resistance zone, an SR flip, which goes back to the very beginning of fucking time, it feels like, when we first found support on $30,000. So you have basically a lower high. You're at resistance. You have momentum. You got multiple factors all saying, yes, this could be a good risk to reward trade, because you can have your stop loss in a place which, if it does break, you're very likely going to get a continuation. You can flip, and you also have the lower high. So, but then people are like, Brett, well, you shorted there. Why aren't you shorting now? It's like, legends. it's a different whole beast. What you got to look at, it's not about what the price has done. It's about where it is in the cycle and what's it and everything around it. Because what you have to remember is that right as of now, if you look at the structure, we have no lower high, right? So actually we made a higher high. So it's a continuation of trend. It's not like we're losing levels or anything. We actually gained a whole load of levels. This is, we're above this. So that would actually be where the trade is. Obviously, that's what I'm going to say. You're not at any significant resistance. We're literally in no man's land. Significant resistance for me would be up here. This is just a fib level. Momentum was not agreeing. It wasn't overbought. Like we had bullish, hidden bullish divergence. Like look at this indicator, guys. Okay, very simple.
Hidden bullish is continuation of trend. Like you're looking for that's the pullback to go higher. Regular divergence, that's potential trend break. Yeah.
I just want to zoom in on this. Okay, so every single time you've had a move, and this is actually on a weird time frame on the daily. I usually look at the 4-hour, but every single time you have hidden bullish divergence, you've had an extremely aggressive move. Like you're having these, and even here, like look at this one here, massive aggressive move to the upside. Even before here, that's actually going up in towards when FTX collapsed. And if you go on the 4-hour, I think it's the 4-hour. This is because we developed these indicators. I think me and you were talking about this, Chris. Actually, we were looking at it. We're like, what the fuck? This is absolutely ridiculous. It's either the hourly or the 4-hour. I can't remember. It's got an absolutely ridiculous win rate on it. And I think it might be the hourly. The 4-hour is still pretty good. But you can see here, if you zoom in on this and you just look for only hidden bullish divergences. So you have hidden bullish divergence here. This is one actually we looked at. Hidden bullish divergence, massive expansion. Double hidden bullish divergence, massive expansion. I did a chart about it. I can't remember. But what hidden bullish divergence is saying, it's saying don't fucking short. Or it's saying stay in your longs. It's a continuation, like you just said. And like people are saying to me, but you've said that, you're short. It's like, dude, listen, there's hidden bullish divergence. There's no lower high. You're not at resistance. That trade back then, just because the market went up in price quickly, it doesn't always necessarily mean it's time to short. It's a whole different. The factors which underlie the way it got there are completely different to that trade. So I just wanted to mention that because I saw one of these comments and I was thinking to myself, like, bruv, I haven't got the time to explain this right now. I'm explaining to him now, if you can hear. You're going to put yourself in danger because price action moving up and down, it's not everything. Just because it goes down really quickly doesn't mean you automatically long. Just because it goes up very quickly doesn't mean you automatically short, because there's context from within that price action.
Well,
anyway, I'm rambling on. It's your turn.
No. I got it. It's like, you're absolutely right. It's. I think one of the easiest things there to think of, or that I think of, is just because a long's, you take profit along doesn't mean you enter a short. Not every time. It's great to think that you can ping pong the whole market, but it's all based off of validation and invalidation. Just because the market, let's say you get stopped out of a trade, but then the price reverses and let's say you're long and you're regaining the level that you quickly lost, you swept and then regained it. That means your trade is still valid. And that's what I like to look at when I take big positions is my trade still valid? That's why you have a high risk reward ratio. I can take the trade multiple times, lose more than I win, and still make profit because of my risk reward ratio. And that's the big thing, is like trade is valid until you have your invalidation level. And it's hard to kind of decouple invalidation to your stop loss. Sometimes a lot of people put them in the same places, where reality is we're going up until we lose something that says we're going lower. And right now, long short crossover.
That was a great indication.
This is the on-chain. So you're actually seeing on-chain flows, which is going to be much more correlated to actual price movement versus the on-exchange flows, which is what you usually bring up and show, which is retail getting wrecked the majority of the time because the majority go short when they should be long and long when they should be short.
Yeah. Well, I just want to mention something actually. So it's like two different calculations, because we're showing retail, but we're also showing that the top traders are long, and we're breaking up the data actually on that exchange, on Binance specifically. Yes, it has a great way, but what we're looking at here, I've actually been thinking about this quite a lot. We're looking at like the aggregated amount of, if you can explain exactly, it's the aggregated amount of longs and shorts in terms of the volume. And on exchanges, we're just looking at where the positions are. So how much exposure to longs and shorts there are out there. So it's an interesting one to go by because they can sometimes confuse people. It's like, oh, but this is saying everybody's short, but everyone's long. It's like, well, no, we're just saying that the top traders are long. And that's only a small percentage of the amount of actual people on that exchange, even though it's a higher amount of volume. So it's a bit of a...
And that's the thing. It's on-chain is like when we look at on-chain metrics, stuff like, sentiment, open interest, all that stuff, that to me is going to be much more accurate data because A, the exchanges can't lie. And B, the big thing there is that, it's verified. It's verified by the blockchain. So it's completely as accurate as you could possibly get. And we're actually able to pull that into TradingView and make accurate on-chart actionable indicators based off of that on-chain data, which we didn't even have a year ago, right?
Yeah. But if you zoom out, it's a great indicator because you can get this with MDX. It's a really good macro. I wouldn't say macro, I'd say medium-term indicator. But every single time you get a big spike down in everybody basically panicking and shorting, it has every single time, which you can see back-tested on this indicator, has resulted in the price action beginning to rise after that event. So I was saying this on, guys, I think it was we did the merge between MDX and Trendmaster, and I brought this indicator. And I said, I've looked at the last 8 things and it's all happened. And I was saying it on stream. I was like, guys, what do you think is going to happen? Like, there's an indicator and the shorts are stacking like crazy. And that's exactly what we've got.
Yeah. And that's what we've gotten now. I mean, that's the big thing that just kind of sticks in my head is priorities up till proven otherwise. I don't think there's anything else really to say about it. Like, watch your levels for breakdown of structure. Watch if we do something like this. If we start, what scares me here, I think the biggest thing that kind of worries me if we do it is if we have a fake breakout that then gets closed back below. Like, that would be worrisome much more to me than if we did it to the downside. Like, we do it to the downside, that's fine. We can still regain the levels. But if we spike up now, grab all the local short liquidity, and then close really hard under, say, the weekly open, that's Sketchtown. That's not exactly where I want to be.
Just carry on. I actually am going to bring something up because I actually do have some images of an old call I made from what you just said, an exact example of what you just said. Let me just bring up 2 charts because they're going to be images. So I'm just going to, because I saw this on my screen. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that one. And then what you just said actually just reminded me of it. So let me bring this up on my screen. It's going to be a bit messy because I'm just bringing up some pictures, but this is essentially what you're saying here. Let me bring up my screen and show everybody. So I don't know if you can see this, but can you see my screen? This is working. So you can see, it's basically what you get a lot in crypto and actually a lot in traditional and just in general, what you get is these big ascending formations and it's consistently making higher lows of the flat top. And we already know that actually when you see this structure, it's extremely bullish because we know that that order block of resistance is eventually going to fail. It's going to capitulate essentially with a hammer getting hit. But what happens a lot, I made this prediction in real time. This is on my Twitter. This is probably about 6 months ago. I was saying that the likelihood is we're going to pop up into this area of resistance. This is 32K, between 30 and 32K. We're going to pop into this as resistance, and then we're going to flush back down, and we're going to fail to get through it after this ascending formation when all of the noobs essentially play the breakout trade. And that's what all these guys on Twitter want to tell you in crypto influencers. They want to say, wait until the breakout to buy. So what they're essentially doing is they're allowing themselves to be the extra liquidity because you buy when it breaks out, and then everybody uses you to sell. Guess what happened, guys? In reality, exactly what happened here, up into here, back down through, and that's literally exactly what happened. So what you just said, Chris, about this would be the more alarming place. If we come up like this and we just keep squeezing, and then we break out, let me just get this nice and drawn for you. Break out to about here, and then we stop, and it doesn't go all the way up to like 40K and have a big expansion. That's when there could be some alarm bells here to deviate the high here. And then it would probably be something like that. Just absolutely quick move back through, blast everything out the water. Everyone's getting licked. This could be something here because everyone's going to start longing when we break out and then see on the flippers, basically. So I do think there's a very, very valid trade you made here. And this kind of articulates it quite nicely. This was a prediction I did about 6 months ago. And everyone was like, oh my God, how did you know? It's just because of looking at the market structure and understanding the way the market in terms of price action moves between resistance and support, essentially. As soon as you pop out of it, you're going to get licked on the way out.
Exactly. It's gain loss of level. I mean, breakout trading to me, I don't think that's viable because you're basically, if
doesn't make
the
sense,
people who are looking at it like this is like, okay, well, I have resistance here and I have support here, right? And this is the range that you're trading in. If you're longing here because we're breaking out, you're an idiot.
Yep.
You're longing into resistance. The majority of the time, the market is essentially in a range. Everything's a range of a range depending on how low of a time frame you go. What you want to do, really, if you want to see like a gain of level, you gain, you create support, you bullishly backtest previous ranges. So that's a lot of how I look at the market is what's the ranges doing? Are we losing levels? Are we gaining levels? Right? Are we losing? Oh, we lost the local range low for this upside structure. We barely retested it. We went lower to test a previous range. What are we doing now? We're back up in that high range to test structure. We're now holding at the lows. That's still good for this current range that we're in. If we start gaining it to go higher, that's the continuation. But that's
I love your colors as well, Chrissy boy. Yeah, I like the colors you got going. I like the colors on the MDX indicator. You have the purple and the blue. I quite like it. Might have to nick your colors, bro.
Default.
Is that default? Is it? Oh right. I must have just changed mine from the box. But if that's default colors, then fair play. But I'll show you my ones. Let's do a little color comparison. Oh my god. So this is my levels, man. I went for the red and the green on here, and then
standard.
Obviously, yeah. But that's like this is my lower time frame stuff, where I'll be looking at the oscillator, the core oscillator, and I'll be looking at the vertices with the bands. But then on this side, this is where I go for more of the generic blue and the cool, because this is what I'm looking at the charts more of the time. I'm not scalping every single day. I want to be a little bit more alert with some more like hyper colors. But on the higher time frames, I like just to be on a more blue kind of casual outlook here with the blue levels and the yellow. But it's really important.
The only thing I hate is like white charts. That's like the one thing that puts my head in. Like we spend enough time on the screen. You don't need to have like bright white background charts. Like
especially with trading, man.
That, and I can't even look at it.
It's because trading has become a night thing. Everyone's become a night owl with trading. You know, I can't lie to you. When I wake up in the morning and it's a nice sunny day and it's, I'm walking around, it's 11 a.m., 12 a.m., the last thing I actually want to do is sit in front of my computer screen. I want to go outside, go to the gym, eat some nice food, go for a walk. So like, I think with traders in general, and maybe a lot of people agree with this, maybe it's just me, I always find myself being at my desk working and trading when the sun is down, because that's just when I want to be in front of a computer screen. I used to be different. I used to be able to just chang the charts forever, but nowadays I like to go and do things in the day light and then do this.
You can do so much nowadays. That's the majority of what I do. Is if I've got my trading session, I've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Usually I'll trade from the beginning of the London afternoon market for the volatility through the beginning, like the first half of the New York Open. So high volume, high volatility on the highest volatility days of the week. Just getting some stuff in.
We don't have to, like, the great thing about crypto and being, creating crypto predominantly is that there aren't all of these like set time horizons. I just love it. It's just so much more fluid. Like you can just choose. Everyone's like, I don't know, I don't like it. It's 24/7. I want to go back to traditional. I didn't ever used to think it was that. I know, fuck it. I was on fucking exchange the other day, just sitting around waiting for the open in terms of and then it gapped up. And I'm just thinking like, this is just archaic, man. It's nice to be able to choose your times, 24/7 market. It really does. I think people just forget about this. Literally, traditional markets aren't open the whole time. It just can't be like that forever. It has to change.
And that's like it's so when you think about it, it's unnatural as hell, and that's why you have after hours trading, electronic trading hours, that stuff just goes wild. But I mean, to that point, most of my days or most of my week comes down to me having a pretty ritualistic outlook from when I start to trade to where I want to get to, and then once my positions are where I want them to be, then I'll just make sure everything's in, stop loss, walk away. I can have all the alerts on my phone using the same app, and if this happens, I'll get a little ping that says, "Oh, this is happening." Okay, well, I'll make a decision. Should I just take it to the profit target, or should I exit the market entirely? And I don't like trading on my phone, but I've done it a couple times just because it's like I'm walking around my own business, and then all of a sudden, like Will messaged me, he's like, "Bro, look at this."
Yeah, he was aping in. It's meant, especially with crypto. But man, I think we've actually got a bit over time. We want to keep this to an hour. But man, is there anything else you want to add, like any altcoins you want to speak about? And then we'll do a little wrap up. I'll do a little giveaway maybe. I'll give away some MDX Algo subscriptions, and then we'll bounce off.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing right now that I want to look at here is that you're in a range. There's no invalidation of the upside move. Don't think there is. If anybody's calling for a short here, like you've said, they're gambling. Yeah, we're failing at local highs. We're not breaking structure, making new lows. Wait for the failure. Wait for the confirmation. Don't flip a coin. There's no reason for it. If you miss the upside move, guess what? You missed it. Walk away. Don't dwell on it. We'll look for the next trade. As long as we're going
on a lower time
right
frame,
here,
if you really are that fucking upset, you missed it, go on a super low time frame and try and pick some entries which you potentially would have low leverage, and then let that run within that small range, and then maybe you'll get lucky and begin to get in at the midway through. But all these guys coming out and saying, I'm shorting because we're at resistance. Dude, you're going to get licked. It's fucking gambling. And I there's a few names we can mention, sir. Just look at my fucking Twitter. I'm going to sniper rifle these motherfuckers out of this place. Unbelievable.
And you can do a lot of good work at lower time frames, but you need to have set conditions. You need to have loss of levels, multiple points of resistance, loss of time frame levels like the daily and weekly open. We always have nice retests of this stuff to go lower. Hold of levels that become support, previous daily opens and whatnot. That's the way you trade. It's that simple. And if you're waiting for the high time frame move, set your alerts, set your trade plans. And then the best thing you do then, if you're looking for that higher time frame trade, put an alert at where you want something to happen. Right click on it, add an alert on that ray, and make it ping you. And that's most of my mornings is that I'll just go through the different charts, look at levels, use the long short positions to actually create some of my trade plans, and then I'll just right at the potential entry, which this is not one, just saying, just right click, create an alert on it, and then walk away and just go to something else and the next thing. Stare at one chart.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
It's the level. It's the level. No, we're going to wrap it up now, guys. But yeah, it's here. If we squeeze up to this ascending formation, it's likely we get a break. The one thing I would say, a caution to the wind or a shot across the bow would be that could be very likely. Well, I'm not saying it very likely could happen, but this is something you want to watch out for because this is quite typical of the crypto market and Bitcoin, especially. If we don't really jet off and like consistently just keep that volume coming in all the way to 40K, I think there could be some sort of deviation failure here. As of right now, guys, you're long until proven otherwise. It's as simple as that. We're not breaking any levels. Anyone is telling you to short now on a medium-term time frame is just absolute bullshit. You got your range. We've come into it fast. We're fanning around. Yes, it can break down, like of course, but the trades are between you're looking to buy down here at between 32 and 30K. Or you're looking to get shorts higher up at around $40,000, I'd say. And we'll see what happens this week, guys. That's our predictions. Put a gun to my head and say which one comes first. I've got to say 40K before 30. What do you think, Chris? I would say probability-wise, 40K is quite high, but I would say I'm leaning towards 40 before 30 in this specific moment. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I think 37 to 38K before 40.
Yeah, I agree. But I think 40 is like an annoying number because it's like it might get front run. So I'd say
it's kind of a
towards
generic
40
term.
first. I'd say I'm towards 40 first and then down.
Yes, but I agree that we're going up until we lose levels. Until we lose 33K and bearishly backtest it, it's up.
The only reason I do this is because people want predictions, so I'm going to give it to them. I have the knowledge and the experience. And
what's your invalidation? What's your 40K invalidation? How about that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I would say, so in terms of 40K not happening.
Yeah. What's your invalidation?
Yeah. So there's two scenarios I'd say. And the first one is this range. We know that this level here coming to these two wicks. I said it actually at the beginning of the video. If we come down here and we break, we do this. I think it's quite likely actually. If we do some sort of descending stuff like this, and we're back down and we come back up, oh no, can't get above here again. Oh no, descending, and then down, and then that could be actually quite a nice short if you retest it. Then that's the first level to invalidate. And we're looking at get the exact levels for you: 33,500. 33,500 invalidation doesn't actually mean we can't hold support at 32 and then go all the way up to 40 after that. So it could go lower and not even get to 30K and then go to 40K. But I'd say this is obviously the invalidation for me, 30,500. I said at the start of the video. And then in terms of 40K on the upside, what I'll be looking for is if we do break out to the upside of this, it's going to have to be some sort of deviation. And I think that $40,000, if you look on the daily, is going to be, you know, we might get something. You're going to get the Blu-ray. It's difficult to say. You know, if we did come, you know, into this area here, then we stop really, really quickly. What I'm really looking for is what I look for in the moves up. You know, are we beginning to lose that momentum? So say we come up to around here, up to around here, up to around here, and it's just like the highs are getting slowly lower. The highs are getting less high, and the lows are getting closer and closer. And then we break that last low. We start seeing, say, bearish divergences, etc. You know all the indicators we look at, all the index indicators, and then that would be, okay, maybe we're going to lose this and deviate over that. But if I was going to put a gun, if you put a gun to head and say which one you think comes first, I think we go towards 40K first before we go towards 30K. If we do go towards 30K first, I'm looking to buy between $32,000 and $30,000, and I do think actually that could happen. This would be lovely. If that actually happened, I'll just be like, fucking hell, like, thank you, because this is what my orders are set down here. And then, yeah, we could even get something where it goes up to here, and then maybe it makes a lower high, and then we come back in and makes a descending formation. That's fine, because then I know that I can't lose the trade. But those are my two levels. It's a good question as well. I actually like it when people ask me these questions, because it makes me redo everything I say and think about. So, yeah, appreciate that, man. But we got to go. We've been here for ages. Stop asking me questions, Chris. We need to go.
Yeah. Legend, bro. The one thing that I think would be the funniest, though, is if the January fractal plays out. If that plays out, I'm just going to laugh.
That would be fucking... This was a hard... People struggled with this, but... Yeah, guys, check out all the links below, guys. So in the description, get MDX Algo. Literally, I can't say it again, but we have 100% the best trading products and services in crypto and trading as a whole. I don't think there's anywhere else you can get this type of value. We have one-on-one coaching, mentoring. We have live discussion groups. We have one-on-one open seminars. One-on-one open seminars. That makes no fucking sense. We have coaching sessions which are open for
seminars.
Not even that. I said one-on-one open seminar. Like, what? It's not open. It's one-on-one. So we have indicators. We have trading bots. My trading bot right now is on Bingx. So the link is below, guys. You can actually sign up to Bingx. We use that link specifically because then you get access to the trading bot. You can't actually get access to the trading bot. It's a private link, which means that we can monitor how many people are on it. We don't want to get the whole world using it, otherwise it will become unprofitable. At the moment, it has like 50 people on it. So, yeah, check out Bingx. The link's below. Check out Bybit, all the exchanges, and also get mdxalgo.com. There is just no... Actually, we should show them the new website. Let me show you guys a new website. So if you come here, guys, you go to mdxalgo.com. This at the end. If you're still here watching this now, you're alone. You're an OG, so fuck it. But yeah, we actually have a whole new website. These are the things we offer. So we have 15 pro indicators, which will help you trade the markets essentially with advanced tools. We have our VIP traders group network. You can connect with pro chartered traders, so traders who are professional and profitable over the last 10 years. Join 10 plus live coaching sessions per week. Enroll in the academy for one-on-one support and mentoring. We have hundreds of hours of academy sessions. Guys, anyway, there's the shopping list. This is what we offer. It's the best product in crypto, hands down. So we will see you guys later. We will love you and leave you. And we'll see you in the next video, legends. Hope you're all doing well. Say something in the chat where you're from, and I'll see you on the flippers.
See you, Broseph.
See you later.